on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Bachelorette Recap Edition. That's right, we are finally back to in season, I suppose. And I'm coming from you. I'm coming for you? Love to you? I don't know.
Sexy.
I'm off. My circadian rhythm is just like off. We're Natalie and I are coming from London. We're not from London.
London, babes.
What a mess. What a mess of an episode.
reveal.
It's only going to get better from here. Lisa Schwartz is back with us to kick off the premiere.
Coming for you.
Yes.
Coming for you. And Lisa is actually in studio. Wonderful. We have Allie and Amanda in studio. Natalie was forced to watch the episode with me, and she is going to be with us also tomorrow on the episode of Going Deeper. And an amazing update on our visits to the lake house. What's next? What happened? All the tea. We'll be covering that tomorrow.
Woo!
Along with texting office hours and your latest pop culture topics. Next week, Blake Moynes is going to be with us to recap episode 2.
Tea.
We have never had Blake on the podcast, so now we do. A couple reminders, since it has been the off season for a while, we are recapping an edited TV show. We are going to have a little bit of snark, but let's just remember these people are human beings, and let's not get overly critical. And if whatever we say, obviously we are commenting on what we see from the TV show. We don't know them as people. We haven't met them. We reserve the right to be wrong about these people, and we look forward to getting to know some of them. Also, before we get into Bachelor tea, just a friendly reminder: we only comment on things that people platform. If they're going to put it out on their social, then we critique it. But we try not to respond to hearsay or rumors and things like that. Because we want to try to, not to make anyone's life more difficult than it needs to be. But if people are going to talk about themselves or other people or the show, then we will, give our thoughts on the accuracy of those statements.
I was like, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's just like, we want to have fun with this show, but it's just like, we like to set some ground rules, and it's just like, okay, we'll talk about tea, but we're not going to there's so much stuff I know. And it's just like, what do we decide to talk about or not? So it's just like, if people are going to put it out there, if they're going to comment, then, it's fair game, so to speak. Yeah. So, Allie, should we just kick it off?
Should we just jump right in? Okay, so
coming for you.
I'm coming for you with Bachelor tea.
I don't know. I'm like nervous doing it from London. It's just like I've never done it this way.
Take a shot every time Nick says London.
You have to do it in an accent.
We're
the whole
in
time.
London.
We're in London, babes.
London, babes. All right. So the big, I feel like, kind of headline on everyone's mind is that Katie Thurston did a Q&A on Instagram where people can send in questions or what, they want her to talk about. And a lot of people were sending in names of guys from her season of, spill the tea on this or give us the behind the scenes. So, for example, someone said Michael A. She said that he kissed a close friend of hers while her season was still airing. And despite her being engaged to Blake, she thought it was still too soon.
Okay, wait. I have a quick question, Allie.
Yeah. No.
What was the box? It's like Nick says, ask. I think it's the auto is ask me a question.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do let's chat or let's catch up. What was her box?
Yeah. So this one
Wasn't
was
it
quite literally a lot of them were just the guys' names. So it says, what tea do you want spilled? And then that's when people were just like, Michael, Andrew.
I have such an issue with this. I know this is not her first time doing it. I believe it's her second time. I don't know if she's done it.
Well, you had 12 days of messy immediately following her season.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I'm just so confused as to why she continues to bring these guys into her her life. Why are we still bringing them up? They have moved on. They have tried to forget about that. And you just get bored and decide that you want to rope everyone back in. And I think it's really weird. I have a really big issue with it.
Yeah, it's not very
so
nice.
strange.
It's not very nice. Like, it's one thing to
It's
do it for
not.
yourself and like, okay, I'll put myself out there. I'll drag the tea about myself. But yeah, you're right. To drag guys that have nothing to do with her anymore. That was a long time
It's
ago. now.
unprovoked. It's so
Yeah.
unnecessary.
That's interesting.
For what reason?
Well, and knowing like how it all works, like these guys clearly got anxious when they saw Katie was like talking about them on her social.
Oh,
And it's just kind of this bizarre thing to like, you know, the Michael thing. It's just like, wait, talk to your friend if there's an issue. I mean, like you had what, a handful of conversations with Michael and then you're still dating a bunch of other guys, but like you're going to like air his like alleged dirty laundry.
His kiss
Like,
at like
what's-
a bar. That's like, why does that matter?
is that part of
Yeah.
it though? Since like to be Nick, you would know this like in the Bachelor world, Bachelorette world, to be a part of it. And like that's kind of your relevancy, not yours, but you know what I'm saying? So like, does she need to keep those conversations going? Because that's the only conversations she thinks matters.
I mean, that's how it comes across, I guess. Like, especially hosting this show, right? Like, I hear so much about everyone.
And Nick doesn't say any of
Like,
the tea that he knows about anyone
There's
ever.
so much that I know. And then like, which is part of the reason why I have this like rule. It's just like, if people want to put stuff out there for us to respond to, fine. But like, I don't want to like airing people's laundry that I hear or how they've treated other people. Like I've heard some horror stories about my peers, you know, but it's just like, I don't want to like put it all out there. And to Natalie's point, it's just like, why does she keep insisting on? It's like it's almost as if she feels like she has some sort of like ownership over these guys from her season. Yeah, I don't know. It's
No
like,
other lead is doing this. No one else is talking shit about the people on their season. Why is she doing it?
like the Thomas one will always rub me the wrong way. Like, did she?
Wait, what did she,
She
say
said
about
that
Thomas?
Thomas got the short end of the stick during her season.
Well,
And then she was like,
no,
keep this in mind
said-
when we watch this
Because I
next
gave it
season.
to him. I gave him a short end of
Well,
a stick.
Yeah, well, she goes, I've always said this, that like you don't like kind of like a don't judge a book by its cover. And it's like, wait, you always said this? Was this after you sent Thomas home and gave him one of the cruelest goodbyes in arguably the history of the season, where she like called his name only to get him to walk over and just completely roast him and called him like cruel and mean and insensitive. And we now know that was based off of nothing. And then when I had her on my show and I gave her an opportunity to be like, hey, you know, and it was like right after the airing of that episode and you guys were all there. And I tried to give her the out, which I asked her, she was like, hey, you know, like we know as the leads that sometimes we're misinformed and we don't know everything. And do you still feel that way? And instead of like recognizing that maybe she was a little hard on Thomas, she doubles down and warns like essentially the women of the world, specifically the women going to paradise, to watch out for Thomas, suggesting he was like some bad guy. And now all of a sudden she's like, I mean, come on.
That is just bizarre in itself. And then what did she say about Andrew?
She said that she had too much respect for Andrew's mom to bring him to hometowns.
Okay, like, did she meet Andrew's parents? How does she have where's the respect coming from?
Yeah, she said,
Does she know
quote,
that?
I had too much respect for Andrew's mama and sis to lie to them about how strong our connection was. While I definitely had feelings for him, ultimately I had stronger feels for others. Every mom wants to hear that your connection with their son is the strongest, and every lead has to awkwardly maneuver that conversation when feelings are stronger for someone else.
I mean, I respect that, right? Like, I always get nervous when they go to hometowns and you could tell that they're not like that into it. Like, that's hard for the family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But again, back to your guys' initial point, why are we still talking about this?
It's like so many seasons
Why?
ago.
It's so
But
weird.
also, like, is the tea that she didn't respect other people's parents? Like,
That's
I
good
don't know.
point. Good point.
Of all the parents she didn't meet, and Andrew's one of my favorite people from Bachelor Nation, and I'm sure his mom deserves all our respect. But like, I don't.
Well,
What
it's
about
also-
Justin's
It's not really
parents?
tea,
Or, like-
you know, is the other thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
That's not really
It's
tea to me.
I love all of these guys. I've met all of them. They're all great human beings, but it really got me.
This is why Natalie's fired up.
Yes, let it
really
out.
got me when I get tagged in a cute little TikTok reel on Instagram of Miss Katie Thurston speaking about Nick. And I watch it and I'm just very, very confused because she starts it off. Someone says, "Why does Nick Viall hate you?" Or "Does Nick hate you?" or something. And she says, "Nick Viall is blocked from my phone." Like she has some sort of reason to block Nick when I know for a fact that Nick has only ever tried to help her and give her advice, which she's never taken. And so I am just confused as to why she felt the need to air that she has Nick blocked. Is it because she is trying to protect herself from texting Nick things she shouldn't be saying?
Ooh.
Nick, do you want to read the text, babe?
Why?
I think you should read the text because I think it gives clarity to her first question on this Q&A where she's asked about
What was the first one, Allie?
Blake, I think.
The question was, did you know you were picking Blake before, quote, the fight with Greg? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. And she said, "Nope. I know y'all have opinions on the front runners, but I had 3 strong connections for various reasons as the guys all offered something different. I originally thought the clarity, with little sparkly things, would come after overnights."
Lie.
The lie detector turned
That is
in.
a lie.
That was a lie.
Babe, I think you should read the text.
Read the
I think
text.
she's platforming a lie, and I think we need to show the truth.
Well, only because it was the last text she ever sent me before apparently she blocked me. Which the whole conversation started because I tweeted something about an upcoming episode of hers, and she texted me "best TV ? Boo, laughing emoji face." And then I gave my thoughts on the quick thoughts on the episode.
Which he's very nice.
But the text that Natalie is referring to was...
You want me to read it?
Sure.
All of our
Okay.
faces.
Yeah, we're all like, ooh.
The thing is, I know what the text is and I still want to hear it. I want to hear it again.
Katie says, "Ultimately, my opinion on Greg doesn't matter. I knew before he left he wasn't the one. It was hard watching it back and always giving him validation only for him to leave the way he did. But I knew, even then, that there was zero chance him and I would have worked in the real world."
And then I wrote, "Well, it's good that you have clarity. As long as you're happy, that's what matters." And she hearted that message.
So all I'm saying is she obviously, from this text, knew that it wasn't going to be Greg. And then she went to AFR and pointed fingers at Greg and called him an actor and that this was the biggest performance of his life and Oscar, whatever, when she was the one obviously acting the entire time. It's giving clown behavior. I'm not interested.
Thoughts?
There we go.
Boom.
I loved every moment of
Like that
Sorry,
guy's
don't
entrance.
come for my man. I do not come for my man.
Yes.
I love it.
The problem, like for me, like I've known that the whole time, you know, and it's just like, meanwhile, Katie's posting on her social, like posts about gaslighting, and to Natalie's point, like accusing Greg on national television at AFR as the lead with all the momentum, and comes out and just flames him. And this whole time, she's like, she allegedly knew that she wasn't going to pick him, which if you go back and watch that episode now where Katie and Greg broke up, and if you know that Katie knows she's not going to pick him, like, doesn't that change your entire perspective of that confrontation between them? Because if my memory serves me, he was doubting Katie's sincerity about their relationship.
And it just feels like there's a lot of back and forth, even with like the Thomas of it all, of like warning people about Thomas, but now saying he has the short end of the stick. Like, I'm like, are we going to hear a different side of Greg at some point? Is she going to switch her opinion then?
Also,
Yeah,
why
I
aren't
don't
we
know.
just moving?
And-
Like, why isn't she just moving on?
Lisa's like,
It's-
let's just be done.
It's so confusing. I'm like, I can't remember any of this.
All right, cereal people out there. Cereal, the common cereals, full of sugar, not very healthy for you. But there are healthy alternatives, and we're talking about Catalina Crunch, the keto-friendly cereal. That's right, cereal that now is also good for you and delicious.
Everybody says breakfast is most important meal of the day. I have trouble believing them. I'm exhausted in the morning, but Catalina Crunch, there's a lot of there's protein in it, and it just it really genuinely, I'm like, okay, I feel ready to take on the day, and I'm not hungry in 90 minutes.
Low carb, high protein, and zero sugar. Sounds too good to be true. Taste for yourselves why over 10,000 customers rate Catalina Crunch 5 stars. And they have amazing flavors like cinnamon toast, dark chocolate, chocolate peanut butter, chocolate banana, honey graham, fruity, maple waffle, and mint chocolate. My favorite being mint chocolate and honey graham.
My favorite being cinnamon toast.
And the best thing about Catalina Crunch is that you don't have to feel bad about yourself after you have it. See why Catalina Crunch is the fastest growing cereal brand in America. Just go to CatalinaCrunch.com/VIALL for 15% off your first order plus free shipping. That's CatalinaCrunch.com/VIALL. Not sure which flavor to start with? Well, try a variety pack. We all love a variety pack because all their flavors are great. Now just pick your favorite. And check out their delicious cookies and snack mixes while you're at it. Again, that's CatalinaCrunch.com/VIALL for 15% off your first order plus free shipping. With this show, right? And we try to hold ourselves accountable to these rules that we have. And I understand that sometimes there's people in Bachelor Nation who think we might be, talking shit or whatever. But what always happens is that the majority, I think, of the people in Bachelor Nation don't listen to this podcast. I totally get why. And then there's always a couple audience members who are fans of them who will be, super defensive of them and will say something. And they'll reach out to these people and be like, "Did you know that Nick and they were talking shit on the podcast?" And it's just like, what? For example, the other week when Michelle posted on her social about the response to not wearing the ring, and I think our general overall take was, "Hey, listen, we don't know about this relationship. They seem to be a very independent couple." That might, who knows? That could be their choice. But history suggests that maybe there's trouble in paradise, I think was the ultimate takeaway. And a couple of Michelle and Nate stans were just livid at us because we didn't necessarily believe in their love as much as they did, which is fine. But it's reactions like that, they'll DM people and they don't listen to the show, they get all mad. And I'm assuming that's why, I think Katie's live, she responded to some comment, be like, well, Nick's, saying X, Y, and Z. And Katie, I'm sure, doesn't listen to the show and then gets all fired up. But I don't know. I don't get why some of my peers are, will get so sensitive about other people talking about them, but they'll do stuff like this. And it's just Allie and Amanda and I will sit down before each show, and we sometimes will be like, we don't even want to talk about this, but you guys keep bringing shit up, and then they'll say either inaccurate things about the show or inaccurate things about other people they're on the show with, and it's just just stop, and we won't critique it, just move forward, onward. I don't know. I don't get it. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I was fine until she spoke Nick's name, and then I was like, okay. And now it's
Wait,
and now
did
I
she
need to
tag
stop.
you in that TikTok or someone else?
She
tagged you?
did not. Someone
No,
else
so it was
did.
some
Okay, 'cause then I
random
was like,
account
whoa.
who posted it,
And
and then
I
a
was
troll
like-
account tagged
I was
me.
like, Natalie, it's fine. She's not really. She's. I was like, it's no big deal. Natalie was not having.
I would
it.
do the same if someone spoke about Jeff.
Mama's got. Natalie's got some mama bear energy.
In all of this, in her many posts, I just thought one of the interesting things was John, so Katie's most recent ex, posted on his story while she was spilling all this quote unquote tea about the guys. And it was this kind of cartoon of this I don't even know, a ghost/killer thing going door to door. And there's like 3 doors open with blood coming out of them. And he tagged like Michael and all the other guys that were coming before him, implying that he was going to be next. And then Katie reposted this to her story. And she said on the door that would have been John's, she said, at John Hersey dumped me.
Oh.
So we got.
Was it because you were mean to other people for no reason?
Maybe. I love Natalie in this episode.
I know.
And then I guess the only thing that has people kind of like talking about it for no real reason, maybe someone else is going to get fired up on this one, I'm not. Someone said, send us the hottest tea you have. And she posted this photo of who everyone believes to think is Hannah Ann on a golf cart in Palm Springs. And she captioned it, okay, maybe not the quote, hottest tea, but I laugh at y'all thinking you know who this is. So then people started wondering if it was a Bachelor producer, because there is a Bachelor producer who looks very similar to Hannah Ann. But Hannah Ann then commented on like a speculation video saying, LOL, that was literally 2 years ago. Where's the proof that it wasn't me? Claire Crawley weighed in and
why
said,
is
Wait,
she
I don't
coming
get it.
after Hannah Ann? I don't understand.
the question is it Hannah Ann? I think is like,
But wait,
what-
on a golf, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
maybe I'm missing it. Doing what?
just being driven around
does
by
it
a
matter?
producer.
Yeah.
Well,
Where?
yeah.
Now?
So it was in Palm Springs.
This
so
was it before. Wasn't this before?
it was before Tayshia
Katie-
took over for Claire. So people were like, oh, did producers also potentially want Hannah Ann?
Oh, that's an old story.
Exactly.
She loves these old
Exactly.
stories.
It
Oh
was
my
so
God.
long ago.
This was before she was even on Matt's season.
Correct.
Like, how is
Yeah.
she even in the know of this information?
So people are thinking either was it a producer that looked just like Hannah Ann? Now people are thinking, did people Photoshop Hannah Ann or do this photo op to like hide the fact that Tayshia was coming in? Was it like all a game?
Sister needs some updated material.
New material.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Send her to Paris.
Literally, Hannah Ann's boyfriend commented saying Hannah is happy and has moved on. She has an agreement with ABC to prove it. It's all a big reach for something that truly doesn't matter.
literally does not matter.
So.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. So
Just leave Thomas alone.
yeah.
Hashtag
So
leave
like-
Thomas
Leave
alone.
Thomas alone. New merch.
Oh my gosh.
The only other thing, if we want to touch on, Michelle and Nate have officially unfollowed each other on Instagram after their breakup.
Is it getting messy?
Well, so the tags, so every time, Nate would tag Michelle in a post, those are also gone, which makes people think that maybe Michelle blocked him because the tags are gone.
You know how we feel about blocking. If you're doing it for your mental health, like it's a positive thing and not necessarily like a dig at the person you're blocking. Maybe she just doesn't. I mean, Michelle seems, heartbroken about this relationship, and understandably so. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it even that much of tea that maybe she just doesn't want to see like what Nate's up to or who he's hanging out with? Like,
So I
maybe
think
it's just
it
helping
is-
her mental health.
I think it's very much about that because she also she followed, I guess, a couple like Bachelor Insider accounts.
Get off of that, yeah.
And so she unfollowed them, but she actually took the time to DM this account and just said, quote, truly needing to take a large step back from all Bachelor Inside Scoop accounts as I need to protect/find my peace. I wanted to reach out because I know unfollows can come across as a statement of dislike, but I want you to know that's not the case here. This account has made me feel so loved and I will always appreciate your support. I'll be back. So I think it's definitely just like
Classy.
she's been classy this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wish her nothing but the best.
Listen,
Yeah.
we stand Michelle.
And we'll see what happens with that 200K. She might want to start a foundation with it. They might
I
split
guess I'm
it.
still so
Yeah.
is it her does she get to keep them? It wasn't like a
So I'm pretty
it
sure
wasn't
she already
tied to the
has
purchase
it.
of a house.
No, so it sounds like when she talked about it, it sounds like they already have it because she also said that she was crying on the phone with a producer asking if she could give it to someone else, which makes me think she already has it. She was saying that it
Oh,
was given
wow.
to the two of them as a couple, so it's up to them to decide, how to split it, how to spend it. Her goal/idea currently is to put it towards a foundation or to give back. She said she wants to like start doing the change that she's always been talking about. But I don't know,
She's so wonderful.
does she get 100K and he gets 100K and then who knows?
Well, we wish them both the best,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially Michelle.
Not picking sides,
Any
but
other tea?
especially Michelle.
Tyler is Tyler in love?
Tyler, this relationship thing has been kind of like brewing for a while. And he also was just in Kristen Cavallari's, what is it, jewelry line campaign.
I watched
where they
that
like
video
did a
on
whole like
TikTok.
video of them getting married and all this other stuff. But
That's
yeah,
just a paid gig. That's just him trying to, make a living.
Yeah,
no,
hustle.
totally. And even Kristen Cavallari was like, I did it for the buzz. And she was like, there is buzz. But he is dating a model, Paige Lorenz. So wishing them all the best.
I know a guy she used to date, actually. So that's just funny that.
Do
now
we know
she's
anything
dating.
about Paige herself?
Well, it's just not really my tea to spill.
I love that. See, she spills when it's time. She holds when it isn't.
There we
could all
go.
learn from you.
Well, I hope Tyler's happy and in love, if that's who he wants to be with.
And in conclusion, hashtag leave Thomas alone.
Just leave.
That's
just
been your
leave.
weekly Bachelor tea.
Yes.
You do not get to sound like you're the Thomas defender after absolutely annihilating his reputation.
He's married. Is that Becca's?
Mhm.
Got
He's
it.
engaged.
Okay.
To
Great.
the lovely and
Happy
wonderful
ending.
Becca
Wonderful.
Kufrin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so should we finally get into the episode?
Let's dive on in.
Guys, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me for this.
What were you expecting / was it different than you were expecting? Did you not have any expectations with it being like such a different season?
I'm always going into it being like, oh no, here we go again. I can't believe I'm doing this again. Like, I'm doing this. Okay, I'm doing this. I loved it. I thought it was.
I did too.
It was so refreshing and like such a great, like, refresh of what it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was one. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Really. I didn't really like watching any of the previews. I knew nothing other than it was the two of them. And I thought it was so fun. I'm really excited about the season.
I know that we've kind of like joked how ABC's like selling us on the idea that they're best friends, but I gotta say this premiere really, like, Gabby and Rachel made me believe that they are in fact maybe, becoming at least best friends. Like,
how
clearly
wouldn't
this
you be
experience
best
is
friends?
bonding for
Yeah.
them, and like there seems to be a real like genuine camaraderie between the two of them, which I think is it comes across as very charming, and it makes you want to root for both of them.
Agreed. Although they are really pumping this idea that they're best friends, and will that break? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little heavy-handed in that, but that's the shtick of this season. And I'm okay with that being the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
like,
gave a little tease in the preview, right? Like before the season kicked off, that there might be like some early friction. I think when the guys like start like
How could there not
getting to
be?
know the women.
that's what I was going to
But-
say, though, is that they found a way to make the preview for this season like all women crying, even though it's The Bachelorette.
That's
like
true.
I felt like 90% of it was like them both like crying. And I was like, okay, you're old faithful, returning to your roots.
That is funny.
Lisa, did any of like the men from like their intro packages stick out to you? We had a chance to kind of review their bios, but since we haven't heard your insight, like who were some of your early favorites?
Early
in
favorites?
terms
I
of,
mean,
like, yeah.
I definitely heard picked some early villains, which I guess we'll get into. I mean, Tino, right? That's like, that was very clear that they had that connection like right off the bat. It's hard
Rachel
to
called
judge.
dibs. Like you can tell like with Tino, she was like, even the first impression row, she was just like, no, mine.
Yeah,
mine,
she
mine,
laid
mine.
it out. Her eyes like lit up.
I also thought when Avon walked up to the two of them, it was interesting because I have heard through the grapevine that he's like potentially a front runner. And it was interesting to watch the camera angles and the coverage when he walked up, because I don't even think we ever saw Gabby's face. And I think it just kept going between Avon and like Rachel with kind of these like big eyes, like very excited about him, I think in particular. So it was interesting to watch even how they edited it, because I'm like, did Gabby even introduce herself? Because I feel like we missed that.
But Gabby was that was one where she gave them the thumbs up and was like, nice work.
Didn't Avon say that he was there for Rachel?
You're thinking of the race car guy who certainly said it potentially?
I feel like a couple
of them
said that.
said that. Yeah, I do
I
think
feel like there
actually
was
he
a
might have
couple
said
guys
that.
who said they're there for Rachel, but I don't remember, at least so far, any of the men like saying that they were there for Gabby. Could I be wrong about that?
I'm not
the
sure.
race car guy, who I really liked, by the way.
I really
Jordan
liked
V.
him.
Mhm.
What a
really
sweetie
liked him.
pie.
Like he has the race car. He's driving 300 miles per hour, but he has this like very like soft and gentle, like gentlemanly way about him. And maybe it's like the juxtaposition of like thinking, he would be like some kind of overly macho race car guy, and like you would expect him to maybe annoy you a little bit, but he did like quite the opposite. I really wanted him to get Rachel's first impression rose. I suspected it was gonna be Tino. Yeah, she was just wanted to make sure like she called dibs on Tino. If that's all she did that night was to let everyone know that he's mine.
Yeah.
That
if
was like
Jordan
her
V
only
would have kissed
real
her
goal.
though, do you think if he would have gone in for the kiss? Because she even said that when they were looking at the race car. Do you think if he would have kissed her, there would have been a different first impression rose?
I really think that like the whole night Rachel was kind of low key wanting to make sure, like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know what the producers are gonna like do in terms of like how are we gonna pick the guys. Like, if there's one guy I want to get to know, it's Tino.
Well,
And
they both said at different times. I don't remember who the guys were, but they said that's my type.
Yeah, and they made a point of like
each.
of us hearing that. Like,
Yeah.
totally.
So who were the? Do we remember who those guys were?
I marked
Tino
it
for sure.
Yeah, Jason, the investment banker who was the second to leave. Gabby said he's my type.
Spencer,
Okay.
who
Oh,
brought
yeah.
the chairs. Gabby says he's her type, and in an ITM said, "I hope Rachel's not into him."
That was standout to me.
Spencer.
the
Oh yeah, she
chairs.
loved
Yeah, that's right.
Spencer.
Yeah, and Rachel's after seeing Tino with the forklift, Rachel told Gabby she is quote immediately attracted to him and that he's her type.
Why don't I remember Spencer? What did he?
He had the chairs
brought
so
the
they could sit
chairs.
down.
But that was kind of it, right? We didn't
Yeah.
see much of him.
But Gabby said that he's her type, and that she hoped Rachel wasn't into him.
pleasantly surprised with Ryan. I did not. He's very
Yeah.
charming. I see a
Bostonian?
big connection.
Oh my god.
I thought he was going to get
The
Gabby
I
banter
thought so,
was
too.
so
I thought-
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought their like chemistry was like beyond. Like
Off
I
the
was like,
charts.
it's it.
They were
There it
talking
is.
about boogers.
the banter.
Yeah, I loved
the banter. He's like, shut the fuck up. Let me.
Yeah,
You know, like,
But
and I was
in
like,
a very
this is either
sweet,
gonna go
gentlemanly
terribly or
way.
really well.
He called her like gabbers.
Oh, yeah, he calls her Gab.
Gabbard,
He calls her
gabbers.
Gab.
Yeah.
Okay, so if
No, I
he
love-
had gone
it
in
was
for the
very
kiss,
smooth.
Maybe.
Yeah.
if he had kissed her, I think he might.
He
have
was the
gotten-
understudy.
sure.
Yeah.
he was ready to go.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. He also really looks like Jesse Palmer in his biopic. Doesn't he look
Mm.
exactly like him?
Nick thinks he looks like Clayton.
I thought he looked like Clayton.
He looks like Clayton. He does also look like Clayton, who also looks like
I gotta
Jesse
say,
Palmer.
I truly hated how the show. Like, why are we throwing Clayton under the bus still? Like,
Oh my
completely
God.
unnecessary
Oh
and
my
overly
God.
mean. And like, Clayton sucks. Like, come on,
the kids
producer.
singing
Like,
Clayton
kids-
sucks.
the
Although-
kids quartet.
That choir though.
No, I
That
was
choir
so
though.
done. And you know,
so
I feel like they
unnecessary,
added
so
the music.
mean of their former lead.
They added
Say
that
it again?
music in post, so you know it's just them going a cappella in the middle of a driveway.
It also had nothing to do with the guy. You know, I was like, oh, he's going to be a choir teacher or
Yeah.
something like relevant. And it was like,
nothing.
no, just brought these 4 kids along like to
Yeah,
sing this
and these-
shitty song.
Yeah, you can't
Yep.
blame it on like. I'm sorry, like you can't blame that on the guys being like, "Oh, we were gonna talk shit about Clayton." No, it was like clearly the show instigating it, certainly allowing it, and
It was not
I don't
nice.
like that they. I don't like that they do that to their former leads. I understand that Clayton did what he did in a season, but like he gave them a very entertaining season. He gave them 2 incredibly likable bachelorettes. Again, like Gabby and Rachel deserve the credit for being likable who they are. Like they deserve the credit for being likable, but Clayton's fuck up allowed Gabby and Rachel to shine the way they did. And I just think it's like 4 months later, unnecessary to like throw him under the bus the way they did on a national television show when he's moved on. He's in a incredibly loving relationship with a wonderful person, Susie, and this show is ultimately supposed to be about like finding love in relationships, and that's what Clayton was able to do. And now they have 2 wonderful, compelling bachelorettes, and it's just like, why do we need to like bring a bunch of kids out and say he sucks 10 times?
Their breakup isn't the interesting thing about them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, those 2 women like stand on their own. I almost kind of forgot about the whole Clayton thing until they kept
The
singing about
sound
it.
bites
Yeah.
also that they played at the very beginning where I was like, damn, I forgot how good like both and articulate like both Gabby and Rachel were.
Yeah.
When Rachel was like, you never fought for me. And then Gabby's like, no, the difference is that it would have been my choice to walk away. Like I was like, this really did set
Smart
the stage where we got
women.
to see women in absolute crisis handle it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're shitting on the show right now, like, what the fuck was that call to action for more submissions?
I got it.
To, like,
I got
Oh
a
date
my
direct
god, I
quote.
wrote that down. What the heck?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend's a
Like, what the
loser. Everyone knows it. Dump
Dump
his
it.
ass and apply at bachelor.com.
Did
of all,
someone in
ass.
casting get their heart broken and like absolutely just hates men right now, and they're just like, "Fuck it, your boyfriend's a loser." Like, what is going on?
Like
in
jaw
casting?
dropping, honestly. That is bonkers.
They're
to
like,
me.
connect with Gen Z women. Dump his ass.
Dump his ass. But it's like,
I would-
not only is your boyfriend a loser, everyone knows it. It's like
Oh
everyone's
my
just
God.
like,
I feel like
Shame you
it's
into it.
kind of similar to like the video you showed me of Joe Biden reading the teleprompter, and he's like, repeat the line, end quote. Like, I feel like that was just Jesse Palmer reading
Reading
it
it,
Yeah,
that
totally.
someone didn't mean to put up there.
Like, I love Jesse doing a great job, but like, he's definitely not the person to read that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why don't you-
yes, correct.
It's like you need Caitlyn, maybe.
Right? Yeah.
Or have
bring
one of the girls
bring
do
Caitlyn
it.
back. Have one of the Bachelorettes do it.
Totally.
Yeah. Like, what? I mean,
Dump
Jesse was
his
probably reading that, being like, what the fuck do you guys want me to read? Like, what is?
Or he like did it as a joke, and they're like, "We're keeping it." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
he was so
Maybe.
sick of doing the same read over and
Yeah.
over that he just threw them something new.
Honestly,
I'd believe that.
that's
yeah.
believable. That's possible. Maybe he was just having fun with it, and they were just like, "Should we do that? Let's try something new."
I mean, that would be funny then.
It caught all
But-
of our attentions.
Oh yeah,
And
Yeah.
Like,
it
I
did. It certainly
replayed
caught
it.
our attention.
How bizarre!
Like, I had to pause it afterwards and be like, what? Like, did you just say that?
bizarre. My other question is like, they're playing this whole game of like, we don't know how this is going to go, and production doesn't know how. Like, nobody knows how this is going to go. Do you guys think that's real?
It makes
Like-
me extremely nervous.
Like, the girls will figure it out. Jesse's like, I don't know how this will go. That's like his opening line. Do you think that's real in terms of format? And
Overall, no. Yes, and no. And no, obviously, because clearly the producers have some sort of plan, right? Like, that they have some sort of plan. But I will say, like, and I've said this many times before, what the show is best at doing, and what the producers are truly great at doing, is adapting on the fly. And so they have a plan for sure. Does that mean that plan's set in stone? Does that mean that plan can change? All those things are true. So like, I do think, they decided to have two bachelorettes at the very last minute, right? So they decided to have two bachelorettes when they spent all this time from a production standpoint planning for one bachelorette. And given how this season unfolded and the overall just like love for both of these women, they decided to, change it up. And even from that standpoint, they're just like, we'll figure it out. So there definitely is we'll figure it out, but they clearly have some sort of plan. Now, do Rachel and Gabby know that plan? Probably not. Does Jesse Palmer know that plan? He maybe not either. I mean, he just kind of shows up and they're like, he just kind of follows the directions they give him and he does his beats. But I mean, Jesse's certainly not in production meetings, is my guess, in terms of how they're deciding how this show goes. So I think there's probably a little bit of truth to these women not knowing how it's all going to play out. And even Jesse to that point. Now, there's other people who might, but it actually doesn't surprise me that they might not know.
that's kind of fun. Because when they started, like, they broke away and they're in the cocktail hour. They broke away to talk individually, but first they were doing it together and it was so awkward and I hated every second of it. And I was like, is this what the show's going to be, where they double date the
I
whole
know.
time? So I wonder if they thought at first that's how they should do it. And then they're like, this isn't
so
working.
terrible.
Yeah.
Post magic
it-
show, they're like, we're
Post
out.
Roby.
Yeah.
Roby and the
Post-Roby.
twins were
Done.
two interesting people to start with. Three,
You
I guess.
guys, it's so sad.
Is it me?
Yeah, they got sent home.
Oh my
It made
God.
me like when I saw the twins getting sent home, it made me feel bad that like we called them cocaine users last week.
Is that what you guys said about that?
Okay, I was joking because their bio was like, "Oh, we like long nights out in New York." It was just a lighterhearted joke.
Oh.
It was not an honest
Yeah, it was,
accusation
yeah.
about
The way
cocaine
Nick just
use.
said it sounded like
Yeah,
Yeah, you make it sound like we were
it
like,
was just a
They're
a
also
tease.
so young, though.
They look
It-
like teenagers.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
A 24-year-old
they're like-
boy is basically 16 in my
Yeah.
mind.
And the way one of them was describing the other, where he's like, he's much more intense, and it was like really like weird.
It was weird.
No, the best was, I mean, when we were in college, I could see him coming from miles away. And I was like, that's just physically impossible. You don't.
Then he asked Gabby and Rachel if they feel the same. And she's like, well, we didn't come from the same womb. So no.
Oh, sweet babies. I feel like they were just so uncomfortable. Oh.
I felt bad for him. Even the
I did too.
magician, I thought he was super sweet, and I just wanted to like give him a hug.
But
I was
I-
like,
yeah.
there's,
But
there's
you could
someone
sense
out there
that
for
even
you.
from when he got out of the limo, though. Their faces were not necessarily into the
He also
magic.
did that weird little gesture after he did his trick in front of the boys, where he like cracks his knuckles and then like snaps and moves. It was really endearing and really like cringe.
For
Magic
someone,
is
it's going to
tough.
be super beautiful and super magical, and I hope he finds
I
love.
hope he goes to paradise.
Does
Yeah.
magic work with anyone? I'm asking this in genuine curiosity. Are there people for whom magic is
I'm
a
sure.
panty dropper?
Only from David Blaine.
Everyone has something.
Like David Blaine is hot when he does magic.
Or like
Nobody
what's
else
the
is
guy
hot.
who used to do Cupcake Wars? He has his own show now. He does magic too, and he's kind of hot.
Anyone who?
He has his own Netflix
Cupcake
show.
Wars.
Is it Chris Angel?
Anyone?
or
Anyone?
something?
Cupcake Wars
Cupcake Wars.
magician.
Lisa, you talked about you have some villain picks.
Yeah, because one of them reminds me of a guy I dated, and I saw right through it, and that's Eric.
I knew you were gonna say
The
it.
tie.
dated- like, I
the
dated-
tie.
He played
I
it
like
so
him.
cool. He was so cool, so smooth and comfortable, which isn't to say he's bad. That's wonderful. He made the girls feel really comfortable. I just feel like he has this like accent. Okay, guys, I think I'm just talking about my ex, but like he has this like air about him that like it feels a little put on, and also it's difficult, right? Because I do feel like the guys should have the opportunity to meet and get to know both girls.
It was the way he
I-
felt so entitled to a first impression rose.
Yeah, that might have been it. And like he's gonna kiss both girls, and he's convinced like he got this in the bag. Again, like it's a fine line right now. We don't know. It's either confidence or he's a dick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
it's
fine
early
line between
on.
confident and
It's
cocky.
interesting with him because at first I noticed like when the two women walked in to give their initial speech, they kept showing Eric's face. Like that's always like from an editing standpoint, you can tell who are going to be some like main
Characters.
figures of like who in those split seconds they kind of
Totally.
show airtime to. It's not always the case. And so I kind of clocked that. And honestly, for a second, Eric, like in the first half of the episode, Eric was like my early like wild card future bachelor because he's very good looking, he is charming, he seemed very comfortable, he can communicate with both Rachel and Gabby. But as the episode went on, I picked up on the same thing that Lisa picked on, where it's just like whether it's him doing it or the show wants you to think, they definitely highlighted this overconfidence that he seems to have. Where it was just like, is there anything wrong with him wanting to maybe kiss both women? Not necessarily, but he's really the only one of the men that they showed that, right? So that to me, that tells us something. What does it tell us? I don't know yet. It's never good news for you, the cast person, when they show like that aerial shot that almost looks like you're a fly on the wall type of thing. And that kind of gives the audience a sense of like you're spying on this person, and it's usually like some sort of unflattering remark. And he kind of looked like he was, pouting about like not either being
He said-
Rachel or Gabby's
Yeah,
favorite.
that's right.
There was a quote from him said, "I'm kind of pissed, to be honest." And it's like, I think it's one thing to be disappointed. It's a very different thing to be pissed. And it was the way he like, when we talk about sparky people on Ask Nick and like this idea that there's some people who are just really charismatic, like he to me felt like the definition of someone who's really good at creating a spark, at making you feel comfortable, at putting his arm around you. But then it's not, you saw the second he experienced disappointment, the way that was very unbecoming on him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm quick not to overall judge like who he is, but like
Right.
one thing is for sure that Eric is definitely going to be around, and he seems like an early front runner to be the show's villain. Like I can see him rubbing some of the guys the wrong way.
What about
Right,
Logan though?
I was
because
just
he
gonna
spoke
say-
to both of them. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Logan?
He has a lot
liked
of
him.
VO, or what's it called when they get like
ITM?
yeah, he's ITMing a lot. Like I feel like he's narrating.
Yeah.
He's narrating a lot this episode.
He's very charming. I thought the two chicks were very playful and fun. He seems like easy to talk to, which is always like it's the best currency you can have in that world, just to like come in with something to say or just be easy to talk to. Like everyone's stressed in that environment, especially the leads. And if you're someone who's willing and easy to talk to and like drive a conversation, that takes off so much pressure from the lead that they just love talking to like they love sitting down with someone who's like going to carry the conversation, because it's so hard for them to start. And they're like, the lead's always trying to like make everyone feel not nervous. That when you have someone like making them feel a little less nervous, it goes a long way. So I could see him being around for a while.
Did you guys feel like he was a little like he felt really paranoid to me, like, or like he was
Like
really
frantic.
really anxious, and like if things didn't go exactly as he wanted, he seemed nervous. So I wonder if he's going to be like the nervous guy.
Yeah, like the
Do you know what I mean?
overthinker of the season.
He needs the validation from
No,
them.
Logan.
Oh,
I
let me-
thought.
about Logan? Oh.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the chick names? Mary Beth
was
and
so
Alejandra.
random.
Those are the best possible names he could have had for two chicks.
I did
Mary
like the
Beth.
chicks. That one chick
They're
was
good.
shitting the whole time.
Yeah.
Why didn't they acknowledge that?
It's so gross.
Did you know?
I
That
think
was
he said the chick just shit in my hand.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Only at one point, though.
Yeah.
It's like all I could see. I love that.
What did we
And
think
he-
about when Jacob brought a list of attributes that he wanted in like a wife or a partner, and then like read
That
it
was
off
weird.
to Gabby?
Which one's Jacob?
That was
Jacob
weird.
came in shirtless and said, "I didn't
we haven't
choose
talked
this
about
life;
him.
it
This life
chose me."
Ew.
Yeah, I did
Ew.
not love him. And then like she takes care of her physical like
Appearance, yeah,
Yeah,
physical.
that's a
It's
bold
like-
thing to say. Like,
it's a bold thing to say on the Bachelorette. And just on a first date, that's a bold thing.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm into fitness.
and you
Wink,
need to be
wink.
too.
Yeah, don't get
Yeah.
complacent when you feel loved.
How about Hayden?
Yeah. I
Hayden
really-
was
I
real
didn't-
cute. Hayden with the birthday card for Rachel.
Oh my God.
And the accent.
was cute.
The only thing I didn't
His
like about him was his
thick
head
Southern
joke.
accent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He made a head joke.
Yeah,
Guys,
that was bad.
That was
What
bad.
was
It's very
it?
visceral.
He was going to use his
Unlike
his-
Clayton, I'm
and
going
not
to
his-
use this head,
and
not
not
this
that
head.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
why
that's-
did they put
that's
that
that-
in?
Negative 3 points for him for that.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
like-
10, but
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. Cute accent though.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be around for a while. I mean, that's really was this episode, right?
Well,
I mean, just like we're
Mario-
just trying to get to know the guys.
Oh yeah, Mario got the first impression from Gabby.
I mean,
I like him.
I was
like him.
surprised by that.
I
We
was-
didn't
yeah.
see that much of him.
Yeah.
just the kiss. And she was
I
leaning
was
in for that
surprised.
kiss.
And she kept going back for more.
Yeah, she was like, finally, some goddamn action.
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's the thing. That maybe they just kind of edited out like the best part of their conversations because they wanted to show the kiss. But it seemed like the kiss kind of came out of nowhere. I doubt that it did.
Totally.
Like clearly, they might have, not shown everything about that conversation. Because you're right. I agree with Allie. It just was like, oh, okay, like.
And that was it.
I
Even his
guess.
intro, we got to see him for a second in his intro, and he was dancing out of the limo, which I was like, oh, he's really fun. And that was it. We
Yeah.
didn't see anything else of
Yeah.
him.
Who
Yeah.
is
Right?
Mario?
Yeah, they didn't really exactly. I really expected they would highlight. I expected they would highlight more of the men, but maybe it's just they have so much to cover, and I think
So
that's going to be a
many.
downside of the season. That's my fear for this season. I think there are going to be a lot of compelling and interesting elements to it, but I think there's going to be a lot of moments where we're just like, wait, we're close to hometowns, and like who, we always feel that every season, like who are these guys, et cetera, but like I'm afraid that Rachel and Gabby both at times are going to be talking about these connections with some of these guys, and we're just going to be like, huh? Like there's going to be, with Katie and Justin, there was like, we were always wondering where's this connection? Why aren't we seeing it? And I'm afraid that there's going to be too many of those because there's just not enough time to show all this stuff. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, I feel like the banter between Mario and Gabby, once she gave him the impression rose, and he was kind of like, okay, thanks, bye. And they had a cute little moment. I think that showed just like how comfortable that they obviously had gotten in their previous conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of Quincy, the life coach.
Prince.
Prince.
I did not like him.
How
I
earnestly
did
Rachel was
too.
like, okay, Prince.
He strikes me as an F boy. Like the second he got out of the limo and he just was like, he's just swore at the both of them.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, get out, go back in the car
He made
and
a
drive
sex
away.
face.
He said it's been a year and a half since I've had sex.
Oh,
that
was
was this man.
so
What was that?
Right. That was so.
That's
yeah,
like-
that's right. He came
Yeah.
out and
It's
like,
just
shit.
Yeah.
It's just
And then
it's
he's
not
like, I've been like saving myself. I really, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, but like from someone who grew up Catholic, when he's like, I've been like really like saving myself and abstaining from sex. And then he says a year and a half, like, boo hoo. So is the rest of America.
Yeah.
It's been a
It's
pandemic.
just a cold streak.
Yeah.
Dry spell.
Yeah. I think that's right. And a year and a half, so specific.
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
18 months. It's
Yeah.
also like, imagine if that were the dating convention, that like when you were meeting someone for the first time, you had to like reveal how long
Yeah.
since your last sexual
Oh,
partner had been
God.
insane and unhinged.
What a
But
nightmare.
he said it as if like we were supposed to like applaud him
Yeah.
for this like
Yeah.
abstaining, where it's just like,
that's
like you
hysterical.
brave boy.
yeah, it's just like no way,
That's
a year and a
hysterical.
half. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're a saint. You're a
my
literal
God, let me
saint.
take
And then
that
what did
right
Gabby
now.
say after that, though? Like when he walked away, Gabby was like, "You're talking to
Oh,
the wrong
I have
one" or
him.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so he said immediately swore when he got out of the limo, hasn't had sex in a year and a half. Gabby said, that makes one of us. And Rachel said, do you know who you're talking to?
2 women who famously
love
just had
that.
sex with the same person.
Oh my gosh. I did love the ending though. What'd you guys think? Like,
Yeah, the
about-
no rose ceremony.
except
Yeah,
for the fact
I,
that they called out 3 people only.
Yeah,
like, that
I really
was
felt,
sad.
felt bad for those 3 guys.
Yeah.
But I guess if you know, you know. Don't lead them on.
Well,
Don't
that's what
string 'em
Jesse
along.
was like
Yeah.
sort of pushing for, right?
Yeah. I mean, Gabby literally said, quote, it ain't it regarding the twins.
Yeah.
If she knows it ain't
Yeah.
it, why are we
Wait,
keeping
wait,
them
was a
around?
Brandon
cursed energy.
in the blue suit, he pulled that down and it showed Brandon's face. I was like, "Whoa,
I know, hot.
he's so
Hot.
cute."
Yeah, cute.
I think there's a lot of good-looking men this season.
Yeah, I was put off by their photos when I first saw him, but
I agree with
them
you.
on
Some
the
of them
show.
look so much better in real life.
Yeah.
So
much
like
better.
even Jordan, the drag racer, he's so much cuter in real life.
Yeah, I love that he was like, I'm a professional race car driver. And then the Chiron was like, drag racer.
I really like him. I hope he sticks around. I also liked John when he screwed up their names. But it was kind of like kind of
Aw.
endearing, where he's like, well, it's like maybe not a good impression, but it's an impression. Like he was sweet.
Do we
I don't
think that
know
was
if either of them are
planned?
into him, but I feel like he's just going to be around for a while and be like kind of like an underdog fan favorite, like for
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah. The English teacher. It kind of gave me
Johnny's
Ben Higgins
cute
vibe.
also.
The one who
he's cute.
freestyle rap.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that was
not.
cringe. That was really hard to listen to. But he was
Absolutely
cute.
not.
Natalie's like, I could obviously do better.
Plug your ears and look at him. It's better.
Yeah, that was rough. Did we talk
mean,
about
I
Jordan
give-
H? The guy who put the silencing headphones on?
They weren't silencing, though.
that
They
was
were
cute.
just
and
normal.
they heard them. Yeah.
I thought that was cute, though. I thought that
Yeah.
was good.
He's cute. He was the first with Rachel alone.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, because then they had the conversation. He was like, well, I don't know if you heard, but I told Gabby. She's like, oh, I heard. Yeah. She's like, I heard everything. He did take a risk, though. If they would have had different hairstyles, that might not have gone very well in his favor with the headphones.
I was a little surprised that they didn't like elicit like really any drama from this first episode. It was like it was sweet and it was nice and it was like it's good to be back on air and it's good to see Gabby and Rachel again, but
I thought there was maybe going to be a little bit with Chris. When we went through the bios, he's the mentality coach. We thought he had Carl vibes. And there was a few shots of him coming out of the mansion and like
Carl.
looking at the other guys and giving his opinions. So I thought maybe he would start stirring the pot a little bit. But even he didn't really bring a ton to the table.
no, it was like it was a pretty vanilla first episode. Like remember back in the day where like episode 1, obviously you'd have your like drunk buffoon.
Yeah,
Someone
Yeah.
pulled someone's
crazy.
blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like, yeah,
there's
there's
doing like well-behaved men so far. I mean, I'm assuming eventually that will change, but it was pretty mellow.
I wonder if some of that's the inherent drama of like, it seems like they were really trying to hit we haven't been kissed by men. Why aren't they kissing us? And will we like the same guy? Like, it seems like they were kind of using the format of this season in particular as kind of the go-to like cliffhangers.
Mhm.
I feel like maybe next episode will be the only episode where we kind of see the like potentially one guy kiss 2 bachelorettes. I'm really curious how they're gonna how they're gonna frame that. Like, is that where they get like an early villain by like kind of coming across as a fuckboy for like going to one bachelorette and then
Ooh, what if one guy switches like really late in the game?
Well,
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah.
And we did see that. I think it probably was a bit earlier, but Meatball guy was shown in the like supercut saying, "I can't accept this rose because I'm here for," I think it was Gabby.
For Gabby. But also I
Meatball.
found that so interesting because his name is James. He came out with this meatball stuff and he's like, my friends call me Meatball. But in that super tea or like the supercut, whatever it's called, Rachel says, Meatball, will you accept this rose? Like they start calling him Meatball.
Gross.
You know.
yeah, but you know,
It's
everyone loves a
shtick,
nickname on the show.
Yeah.
But like
It's a shtick.
how long does that do you just say it in the bedroom? Like I'm confused.
But also, like, how gross does that meatball sandwich look?
Meatball.
But then
Awful.
Ryan, the guy from Boston, was
He's eating it.
I love that. It's like, that's polite. If someone brings food, you know.
It looks so
Disgusting.
nasty. And what was Gabby saying? Was she talking to Eric when she was talking about how she doesn't like a man who grooms his chest hair?
Yeah, they were talking about how uncomfortable it was to shave chest hair. And then she was saying, just let it be natural. And then he was like, did you shave yours? Can I see?
Did he say that?
Yeah, but it was a joke. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it didn't go over poorly.
Yeah. They
Okay.
talked about like her hair extensions. They got real.
I
they got
love
Oh
into
yeah,
that.
I really
Yeah.
liked their conversation.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cute.
Oh,
and
when
really
Gabby
funny.
was like, "Yeah, I have fake hair, but men are stupid."
Boys
Yeah.
are stupid. They don't
Yeah.
know.
That was
I
pretty
love
funny.
her. I think she's fabulous.
Spectacular television.
Yeah, she's so
Yeah,
great.
she
They're
has
both
very
great,
good
but she-
comedic timing.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
hysterical.
Like
was
she
like
was
during-
able to say that it didn't come across as like mean towards men.
yeah.
You know?
I think because she said boys are dumb.
Yeah, like I think because she said boys. You know, like it was playful. I liked that.
It was also when the choir came out was singing, and they were like, "I hope you're not feeling too down." She was like, "Never." Like, she was like really like
Yeah.
she just like was always in there with like a fun comment or joke, and like even with the twins when it was clearly so awkward, she just like, "So can you guys read each other's minds?" Like she just always cuts to the
Yeah,
chase.
Yeah.
she's fun. I like her. Like I want to hang out with her. She's cool.
I do too.
And that dress.
Yeah. And then Rachel, I think, was also like fun for different reasons. Like was super earnest, like asked so many questions, was like so clearly like intent on getting to know people.
Rachel gives good hugs. I saw that right away. She was very good hugger.
And her eyebrows looked amazing. I couldn't stop looking at them.
My only critique of Rachel this episode is when they were talking about types, and she's like, tall and athletic, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
And she's like, and sometimes
all of ours
funny.
is.
Wait, that was insane though when she said a quote from Rachel, "I've never really dated a guy who's made me laugh."
Correct.
To me, that
That's
felt
kinda
like
crazy.
a bonkers thing to
Some
experience.
guys just aren't. Some
Yeah.
guys just it's not a strong suit.
well, maybe if she's like always going after only tall and athletic guys, you know, like maybe
If they don't have any insecurities, how are they supposed to be humorous?
Amen.
Yeah. You got to do your time.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will be the first time that she dates someone who makes her laugh.
Was Tino funny? I don't remember.
I feel like they were laughing a lot.
I don't know. I didn't get like a belly
Like,
laugh.
she wasn't. No, she definitely wasn't belly laughing. But I think there was that like connection and comfortableness to be able to laugh.
Well, I mean, Rachel's just kind of, she seems like, you know, the more of the traditional, like, fairy tale ending kind of, you know, she has this kind of picturesque idea of a relationship. And I suspect, like, Rachel might fall faster than Gabby. You know, I think
Rachel's more of a romance.
yeah,
girl.
like, and where Gabby feels like she's a little bit more hesitant and skeptical. You know, we'll see if that plays out, but I think,
What if Tino flips?
Oh my god.
What if they're setting that up?
Oh.
I
Villain.
hope not.
I mean,
Tino
yeah,
took her
it'll-
to the stairs. He can't take Gabby to the
To the
stairs. They don't have the
stairs.
same meaning.
we're gonna need some juice. I mean, like,
Yeah, something
this
has
was,
to.
This was a very like very mellow episode 1.
Like the biggest thing was the
Mhm.
3 going, right?
Mhm.
There's really no drama.
I kind of feel like Eric has the capability to be a villain. I also,
Yeah.
sadly, I hate to say this because he is one of my favorites, but Ryan, I feel like he definitely can have a little like
Mm.
northeastern Jersey. Where is he from? Boston. or
Boston.
something?
Because
like a
it was
Boston.
Totally.
It was fun that he kind of like automatically had that banter with Gabby and he was like, shh, shh, Gab. But it's also like that might also be a slight red flag if you're that comfortable, like shushing and like controlling the whole situation on night one.
Got it. Good call.
It could go either way.
It could go either way. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, usually the people who could be the fan favorites and the most charismatic could just as easily be the villain. It all depends on like where they fall in terms of the lead's favorites. Like, if you're like the lead's third or fourth favorite, then you're collateral damage. Like, you can definitely be made a villain.
Guys, we didn't see anything from Tyler, my Jonathan Taylor Thomas lookalike.
Yeah.
Like a little baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also didn't really see much of Nate either. I was excited to
But
see
he was
him.
in the preview a ton. Making
Wait,
out
who
with
was? Nate?
Nate.
Someone. Nate.
Yeah, he was. He was the one who had the pillow with both of them.
He's cute.
Yeah.
He is
Oh,
cute.
Nate's
And the
very
jewelry.
attractive.
He's really bringing the jewelry.
He's cuter in real life than this. These pictures are
Tremaine
not.
with the mic drop. Like, there's a lot of.
That was the most uncomfortable entrance for no reason when he just like placed the mic in their hand and Gabby was like, mic drop? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that did not land.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
ABC was like, don't you dare damage our equipment.
Yeah.
Hand it. Do not put that on the driveway.
Zach was first out, right?
Mhm.
Isn't
Yep.
there something always about the first out?
He forgot
Yes.
to introduce
Yeah.
his name. Or he forgot to like
Oh.
introduce himself. So he just was
From,
like,
like,
I'm
an
the
ed- like,
luckiest
yeah.
guy. And then
Lisa's right though, but the fact that he was aired as the first limo exit usually is good news for that person.
okay.
Not always, but
He was
like,
really nice, like really composed, kind of just like
Yeah.
he's like, I'm a hugger. He's that guy, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then but completely disappeared.
Yeah.
We had the football coach. What did people make of the pep talk moment?
I feel like they are gonna juice the shit out of
they
that.
are. That's exactly it.
I think he's gone week 3.
Totally.
Yeah.
The football coach gave the football speech within the first 5 minutes of his like being on the show, and it seems like that might be
It.
Yeah.
all he's got.
Unless he gets to go on a competitive group date where they're in teams
Oh.
and like in a locker room.
That's right.
Why did Jason not button his top button on his button-up shirt?
Should we ask him?
That is my one question.
I just want to know why Eric's tie kept getting looser and looser.
Because Gabby tied it.
They didn't.
She wasn't
tie it
good at
correctly.
it. I thought it was cute.
It
It's like
reminded
he
me
was
of like
trying to look messy while cute at the same time.
I think he has this like he's trying to put on this persona. I hope we're wrong.
I
Yeah.
would have loved, and I say this not being able to do it myself, but I would have loved if he's like, does anyone know how to tie a tie? And if one of them would have taken it like guys do for each other, put it around their own neck, done it perfectly, taken it off and shoved it back. Like that would have been
Aw.
such a power move.
Love.
does everyone know how to tie a tie in this room?
Nick is
Here's a little
I
behind
know.
the scenes. Most, in my experience, most of the men on the show do not.
Really? Who does it for them? Producer?
One person.
Well, there's always like one or two guys who know how, and they're the thing Allie suggested.
It's like
I
girls on a trip. One person knows how to braid and they have a
Yeah.
station.
Yeah.
like I
You
was
can do a wing eyeliner.
I was
Yeah.
one of the designated
Production
tie
line.
tires.
Yeah.
Curl the back.
On
Yeah.
both seasons.
How about Colin?
Um,
He came out and was like, feel this husband material.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
He was kind of
that
cute.
was cute. He kind of disappeared.
Yeah. So many guys.
So many
32.
guys.
So
Right?
many guys.
Too many.
There's the
Let's,
barefoot
like-
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the barefoot guy. I mean, attractive. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's also just kind of gross.
Yes.
It's
I was
like, why do
maybe-
you want the one thing that people notice about you is that you're not wearing shoes?
Yeah, like putting your bare feet on national television is a
Maybe
really
as an
bold move.
OnlyFans. Maybe as a
Free feet
That's
content.
a good point.
It's not
Promotion.
as easy as it looks. It's a whole business.
desperate times
What's that?
sometimes, guys. I'm like,
Having-
Feet, like
Yeah.
feet pics and feet videos. It's a saturated market these days.
Are you into this, Allie? Is this?
Well, my friend and I were like thinking, we're like, that would be a great way to make some passive income. Not as easy as it looks.
really?
Nope.
Being a foot model?
We lost money.
You lost money?
Well,
Wait
yeah,
a second. Way to bury the lead. What? You tried?
Yeah,
No.
here's your episode 1 drama. Like,
Yeah.
Allie, tell us more.
well, no, we were just like, oh, this will be super funny. So we went and got like super expensive pedicures. And while we were getting our pedicures, we're like, we have the ugliest feet known to man. Why are we doing this? And then we went home and started drinking. And then we took videos and photos of each other's feet. And it didn't go anywhere. We've
I had
never
friends
made
who
a
did
dollar.
Did you put them up somewhere?
What you have to do is make a Twitter, and then you have to find Twitter, like there's existing Twitter accounts of like foot fetish influencers, and then you follow people who are following them, and then you DM them and you say, hey, do you want 10?
No, but you can do.
You guys have looked into this.
There's
I'm
websites like
dying.
feetfinder.com. Like there are certain.
WikiFeet. Have you checked to see if you guys are on WikiFeet?
Oh my God.
Have you guys not looked it up?
Look up
No.
Nick Viall WikiFeet.
You guys, I don't want to brag, but I have a really good rating on WikiFeet. I'm sure you both
I
are on
bet you
WikiFeet.
Do you?
Nick, your rating is 4.91 out of 5.
Oh,
Nick,
And it says,
Is that good?
and it says
I have
shoe
pretty
size
decent looking feet.
5.
shoe size 5.
It says, oh my God, the way both of your faces fell. A shoe size 5.
Oh my God, yes.
My shoe size is 5?
It
according-
says.
Sweet little
Do you want
baby
me
feet.
to edit?
Yeah.
Do you want me to speak up for you?
What is your shoe size?
It's an 11.
Okay, can we edit it?
I'm going to edit. Okay, I'm putting
We're
in.
doing the Lord's work right now.
The Lord's work.
Oh, I'm not logged
You know
into
what they say
WikiFeet.
about guys with
Wait,
big
pull up Natalie.
Are there pictures of my feet?
Yeah, dude, and people update them. That's the craziest
I want to
thing.
look.
People update this thing. It's wild.
Where do they find pictures of your feet, Nick?
Oh yeah!
Screenshot
Oh my God!
it.
There are photos. It's a bunch of photos of you.
I can't.
Wait,
I
where?
can't
He
believe you know
doesn't
about
wear like
this.
flip flops.
It's like every
It's the
time
two of you on your
Nick
couch.
has like anytime
Oh my
Nick has
God.
ever posed barefoot, this photo's on your reel.
Turn
I'll send the
that
link.
computer around.
It's
now.
both of you on the couch. It's like both of your legs. It's a screenshot of one of Nick's stories.
I just texted it to
Sure.
you guys. It's like a bunch of pictures on Paradise.
How
Yep.
do and my feet look good?
Oh my God.
There's one where there's a tan.
Maybe some people are into that. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
You spent all that money on a pedicure. You could have just gotten a
This
sock
is-
tan.
You
we
do
go.
put your
Gross.
feet on your story a lot, Nick.
I guess I do.
Yeah, it looks like you have high arches, Nick.
A nice bone structure.
Guys,
Arches are the cheekbones of the feet.
This is making me panic.
I know, dude. I know.
Like this picture, I don't know if y'all can see that, but of Nick on the scale.
That's me doing a Vanity Planet ad.
I love it's making me
it
panic.
Really is. Natalie, it is.
It's wild.
Oh my God.
So you're welcome for that, everybody. I hope you enjoy your WikiFeet adventures.
Nick, hide your
That
feet.
is sick.
Do Rachel and Gabby have a rating?
Gabby does in fact have a WikiFeet.
How they looking?
It doesn't seem like she has ratings. It doesn't say, well, it has 4 stars and then in brackets, nice feet instead of the 4.1 that you got. And we don't have information on shoe size, birthplace, birth date. So it seems to be a really early.
Well, clearly we know that
Stage.
shoe size is
Incorrect.
I love
incorrect.
As someone with size 10 feet, like feels so targeted to be like, this is how big someone's feet are.
Someone was mad at me and said, nope, we're just going to change it to a 5.
That's hysterical. I love that. All right, we're doing predictions.
Predictions. Yeah, Lisa, why don't you kick this off with give us Rachel's final 4.
Okay, we got Tino. We got Jordan, race car.
Okay. I like that.
Hayden, accent birthday
Mhm.
card.
Mhm.
Strong.
We got to just throw one.
Would you say-
Logan.
Mm.
Logan?
Did you say Avon?
No.
I really think Avon's going to be in like her top 4.
Yeah.
Who's Avon? Oh,
sales
Avon. Oh,
executive
Avon, of
assistant.
course. So Avon, Hayden, Jordan, Tino.
I feel
Anyone
good
else?
about that.
I think that's a good solid 4.
And I think Gabby,
Hit it.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to put Mario
We
in
have
there.
to
Just
put their
like
first
from
impressions.
a Bachelorette standpoint, the first
Historical.
impression rose is
That's right.
a massive deal. I did get, and again, maybe it's because they didn't give us a lot of reasons to like have us not be surprised about Mario getting the first impression rose, but I could also picture like Gabby being one of the first Bachelorettes in a long time to like change her approach and how she, gives a first impression rose, because so many of the women historically in the past few seasons have clearly like gone with their clear front runner night one, and many of these men have ended up winning the season. And maybe I could picture Gabby kind of, like, yo, I like Mario. There's something about him, and maybe she, is the opposite. Maybe she's kind of hiding her favorite. I don't know. It's
That's
possible,
an interesting. I like that.
But I think we still have to right? We have to throw him in the top 4.
Yeah.
Eric, Ryan, Mario.
And then, Ryan for sure.
Wait, Logan. We didn't throw Logan in anyone's.
I don't know if I see Logan going super far.
I don't
see Logan going far.
He'll just be some sort of a character for us.
Eric is going to be a main character. How and what way, I don't know. But it's like it's unclear. You don't really know. He seems to have a connection with both. Definitely a possible villain.
Yeah, it's like, will he be the first villain or will he be the one like after like the obvious 2-episode villain gets weeded out that he'll be like the longer term villain?
And it's still so early. Do you remember on Peter's season where we thought Hannah Ann was going to be a villain?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
You know, like that whole like champagne gate, and we thought like, and then
That's
that like episode
right.
2, they made it seem like her and Victoria Fuller were like, you know, kind of in that model catwalk fight. And then, like, for the rest of the way, Hannah Ann just, like, you know, became, like, as we now know Hannah Ann to be, this, like, wonderfully nice, demure, very sweet, gentle person. But those first 2 episodes, like, that is not what we thought Hannah Ann was going to be. So it's so early, you don't really know. Like, I could definitely... They really did not give us much to go on.
They didn't.
Yeah, just, like, kind of Jacob is probably... that was shirtless Fabio man. I feel like he was one of the closer things we got to like overt bad vibes.
Yeah, because he clearly seems to be, he's goofy, but he's also like maybe slightly overconfident. And like I could picture him being a villain because I could picture him just annoying the majority of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And not because he's a bad guy. It's just like they just kind of are sick of his antics and they turn on him.
Totally.
Like we're kind of grasping with Gabby's final 4.
Yeah.
Ryan for sure. Mario for sure.
Eric for sure.
I mean,
there it is.
Something tells me that I mean, I think we're just gonna throw in Eric just cause.
Yeah.
He's someone's 4.
Maybe Jason because he was second out of the limo and they showed Gabby saying he's my type.
That's right. Totally.
I think
True.
Jason too.
Which one's Jason?
He's the investment banker from Santa Monica.
Oh, he's like 3.
Oh, yeah. He kind of has a little Michael Bublé energy to him.
Yeah.
I still think
No?
we got to look out for Zach, who was first out of the limo, because again, that's just so historically like.
Excellent point, Lisa. Really disappeared, but
Yeah, he's cute.
yeah, nice smile.
It's a pretty good looking bunch. I'm excited to watch them all.
Well, here's hoping for some more drama, episode 2.
I was just going to ask one final question for Lisa, which is like, if you were one of the Bachelorettes, how would you handle dibs this season? Or would you expect there to be dibs? Like, how would you navigate? Were you in their shoes?
I think them just having these like chats. I think we're going to see them having these like heart to hearts each time, like a check in. And I guess you just have to be honest. I don't know. It's so awkward. I think it's so awkward. And it's so hard to be like confident. And I would just have the problem being like, oh, they probably like her. I think I would get stuck in that.
Because also you would want, no matter who you want / choose, you'd want them to choose you too.
Yeah.
So there's also an element too of like, I don't want to stop them from who they want to be with. And I would hope that they want to be with me. It's
That's
not
right.
like just a result of me having called dibs.
Oh, what did we think of so many of the men asking to kiss them?
I liked it.
We like that? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line, right? Like you want the romance and you want it to them to take charge in that moment, but also they want to be respected. I don't know.
Yeah, like you want to, right?
like it's
And then
the
like
context.
Rachel made that comment about like, I want him to like,
Yeah, she
again,
was
Rachel being the traditional kind of romance. Like I could picture Gabby if she's like has the hots for a guy to like lay one on him, but like I'd never see that from Rachel.
No.
And Rachel had that interview moment where she was like, Clayton kissed me on night 1. Like, kind
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
come
Where's
on,
the
gentlemen,
kisses?
step it up.
Right? Like, yeah, like Rachel, she seems to want the guy, whoever her guy is, to, you know, take the lead, so to speak.
And like fight for her, kind of, and
Yeah.
like show her that like he's willing to show initiative and be all in the way like she will be when she's in love with someone.
also, this is their chance to make out with all of them. Come on, let them have it.
Yeah.
Like,
I also feel like though when the guys start kissing both of them, that
we're in
people
trouble.
are going to start hating
Mm.
the people. Like, you know, like now that Eric has kissed Gabby, like when he does kiss Rachel's going to be like, well, you kiss Gabby first.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I just have a feeling that might happen like next episode, maybe bleed into episode 3. But
I think it'll be a long-lasting thing.
I don't.
You think they're going to make the split soon?
I think so. That's just what I heard early on. If again, did they stick with that? I don't know. Like I just heard that was their initial plan, but like what we said earlier on, that might have easily changed and not be the case. But I think there's going to be a little bit of that early on.
We saw a little bit of them being like, what guy got to talk to both of them? And like, you know, 2 of the guys got to talk to both of them. And they tried to make that into the drama, but there just wasn't enough time for it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to you're going to have like an Eric or whatever kind of be the guy who's just like, well, I'm here. I'm going to talk to the women. And you're going to have a couple of these more shy, you know, not want to step on other people's toes. And like, that's going to create the drama. And like, you know, that's clearly going to be how they get like some early drama. It's like one of the guys just going out of his way to be like, well, I'm going to try to get to know both these women, and they're going to make him seem like greedy and disrespectful.
Yeah, because you have to figure with the guys not kissing very much, it's like I think a lot of them did that calculation of like, I don't know who I want to kiss yet, and I don't want to risk kissing the wrong one and then be labeled the fuckboy of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be on their forefront.
You can definitely tell some of these guys are aware of the potential like fuckboy energy they could give off.
Respect. They're playing it safe.
Self-aware kings.
Yeah.
I also just thought because I think Mario was one of the people who asked, "Can I kiss you?" And I just loved his question and like talking to Gabby about like masculinity. And then when he was talking about vulnerability and how that's an important part of the season, his follow-up question to her was, "What does that look like for you?" Which I thought was a fantastic like discussion question and like really initiated some good communication.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
Communication king. We love him.
All right. Well, I think that kind of does it.
Yeah. That was fun. That's good.
Lisa, as always, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And getting me dragged back into another season. I guess I'm doing it.
Oh, yes. Come on.
Come on.
And
you got it.
Welcome back anytime. Lisa, can you please let my audience know where they can follow you, find more of your fun, amazing content?
Oh, sure. I'm on YouTube Monday through Thursday, youtube.com/Leasebug.
Thank you guys all for listening. Tomorrow, Natalie and I are back for Going Deeper. Quick update on the lake house, my very surreal visit. All the tea on the lake house. That's tomorrow. We're also back with an amazing texting office hours. We're going to read a couple texting office hours. There's some good ones to go over. So all of that tomorrow on Going Deeper, but none more important than the update on the lake house, which it seems like a lot of people are invested in. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. We're back with The Bachelorette. It's been wild. Next week on the recap, Blake Moynes, maybe he'll have some thoughts on his dearly departed ex.
She's not dead.
R.I.P.
Okay.
It's the end.
Dearly departed.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos, like our Mondays Ask Nick, especially if you're looking for some relationship stories and relationship advice, as well as our Wednesday interviews with your favorite celebrities and experts. See you next time.